In the heart of rural Northumberland, in a remote and weather-worn farmhouse near the town of Rothbury, a tale of murder and spectral vengeance unfolded that would echo through generations as one of the most chilling examples of lingering guilt and paranormal justice. In the late 1700s, during a time when traveling peddlers were common sights across the English countryside, a weary yet hopeful merchant made his way up the rough path to a small farmstead nestled in the hills. The peddler, known for carrying various goods, pins, needles, thread, lace, trinkets, and often some coin, sought nothing more than a warm meal and a place to rest before continuing his long journey. The home was occupied by a quiet farming couple, and although the visit seemed mundane, darkness hid intentions that would soon transform a routine transaction into a grim tale of greed and death. The farmer was away that evening, leaving his wife alone to receive the unexpected guest. She welcomed the traveler, offering food and fire, listening to his tales of distant towns and bartering with him for small household items. But as the night deepened and shadows grew long against the flickering hearth, the woman, aware of the peddler's perceived wealth and the absence of any witnesses, was consumed by temptation. With a heavy wooden churn staff, she struck the man from behind as he sat at the kitchen table. The peddler crumpled forward, lifeless, blood spilling into the cracks of the stone floor. Her hands trembled as she rifled through his pockets, collecting coins and small valuables, her breath coming in gasps of both terror and excitement. She dragged the body out under the cover of night and lowered it into the deep, moss-rimmed well behind the house, the splash echoing like a death knell into the darkness. When her husband returned, she confessed the murder, not with remorse but with urgency and fear of discovery. Bound by the shame and the allure of their newfound fortune, he agreed to assist. They retrieved the body, wrapped it in old linens, and buried it beneath a corner of their field. They thought the earth would keep their secret, but almost immediately their lives began to unravel. The woman suffered from sleeplessness, plagued by whispering winds and the sensation of being watched. She would wake in the night to the sound of faint knocking, always 3 times, always coming from the kitchen. At first, the couple believed it was guilt, but the occurrences grew bolder. Items moved by unseen hands. Cold drafts passed through sealed rooms. The sound of footsteps echoed through empty halls. Most terrifying of all, the woman began to see him, the peddler, sitting once more at the same table, blood matting his hair, eyes lifeless, lips unmoving, but his presence overwhelming. No words, no screams, just silent condemnation. As the years passed, her sanity decayed. She would speak to empty chairs, weep for hours, and beg invisible presences to leave her in peace. The farmer, too, changed. He grew pale and withdrawn, avoiding the field where the body was buried and refusing to speak of the night that changed everything. Eventually, unable to bear the presence of their own home, they sold the farm and moved to another cottage several miles away. But peace eluded them. The hauntings followed. Shadows lengthened unnaturally in the corners of rooms. Doors creaked open by themselves. And always the ghost appeared, unmoving, unchanged, unblinking at her deathbed. Years later, the woman finally confessed to the murder, begging for forgiveness from both her God and the peddler's spirit. But some say it was too late. Even in her final moments, she reached out, clawing at something no one else could see. Local lore claims her ghost now joins his in endless wandering, and the farmhouse, though abandoned, remains a place of whispered dread. Travelers who pass by the area have reported strange sightings, a figure sitting silently in a window, strange buzzing sounds in the wind, and feelings of sudden overwhelming sorrow near the old well. Paranormal investigators who dared visit the site in later centuries described unexplained EMF readings, temperature drops, and audio recordings of footsteps pacing when no one else was present. Though no formal investigation was ever documented, during the time of the original crime, the story passed into folklore, each telling preserving the grim heart of the tale, that the spirit of the murdered peddler was denied justice and peace, and his spectral image remained tied to the world until the full weight of the crime was known. Unlike tales of vengeance that end with exorcism or spiritual release, this one remains unresolved. The ghost never spoke, never acted violently, but simply appeared again and again, forcing his murderers to face what they had done, breaking them not with horror but with the one unbearable weight of guilt. It was said that the true terror was not in what the ghost did, but in what he made them see in themselves. The tale of the murdered Peddler became a warning in the region, a grim, moral whispered to children and travelers alike. Even now, historians and ghost story collectors revisit the legend, captivated by its psychological horror. The farmhouse eventually crumbled into ruins, but the land where it stood remains oddly silent, birds falling quiet as if even nature remembers. Whether one believes in spirits or not, the story endures not only because of the ghost, but because of the human heart's capacity for cruelty and the soul's inability to forget. The Murdered Peddler, unnamed but unforgettable, lives on in every retelling, a symbol of justice that may be delayed but never denied.